Hello, traders. This is Blake Morrow, and you are listening to the Daily Roundup webinar. Let me ask you guys, how many of you are ready for Christmas, the holidays? Anybody that celebrates Christmas, ready for Christmas? I was just realizing I have not even wrapped one single gift, and Christmas is in just a couple of days, and that's pretty much a failure as a parent and a husband on my part. So hopefully you guys are not falling into that trap with me. All right, let's talk about the markets here, and let's talk a little bit about where I see things. First and foremost, the dollar strengthened today. We suspected there was going to be some dollar strength coming through because the euro had some options expiring around the 122 level. And let everybody know we were talking about it that we were trading up here like, hey, the dollar may firm a little bit, but then we dropped through 122, and I'm like, well, towards 122, I'm like, okay, I think we're going to get to the 618 here at the 80 level. That'd be the 618 here, especially after a little failed breakout, and I went and bought some actually right here at current levels because intraday I know my risk, and I own some here, but I bought it as it was dropping too. I didn't add, but because it's Christmas or holiday week, you don't want to get stuck too aggressive, right? But I figured we'd stay above this trend line that comes in at around 120, 150. So as long as we're above that, I think the risk of a bounce is high. Now, what it seems like to me, if I had to guess, what's happening here is this, right? We bounced, and you can see it. We're creating like a triangle formation, a consolidation ahead of the holidays. So I think that's what we're doing, which is good because if you're short right now, you're probably thinking, okay, I don't want to be short here. I'm assuming we're going to just continue to hang out above 122 or around 122 level going into the next couple of days. The outlier could be the cable. So the pound's down a little bit, and it's bouncing back some based on what might be, maybe an agreement. It seems like the gap is getting really small between what the EU and UK wants. And so that could lead to a pound rally. So just think about that. Now, the dollar Canadian, I'm going to talk a little bit about this. I actually wanted to short it at 40, and we were talking intraday in the chat room, and I pulled my order because Amanda said she's looking for 90, and I'm like, that could happen. But I was looking at this Gartley pattern setting up, but I'm like, okay, well, if we get to 90, that's actually 127% extension of this move, which would be a butterfly pattern, which I'd be more comfortable selling a rally in the dollar Canadian up there. Problem is that if the euro is going to bounce here, then the dollar Canadian may not make it these levels. So Gartley might be the case. And that makes a lot of sense since we have such key previous support, current resistance right here. We're in that resistance zone. So the dollar Canadian may fail around here. I haven't sold any yet. I was, like I said, I was hoping for like 90, but maybe it's 40 that does the trick. The dollar Mexican peso isn't doing a whole lot. The Aussie and the Kiwi are weighed down a little bit, but you look at the Kiwi, we're above 70 cents. And as long as we're above 70 cents, the risk for the Kiwi is probably back up towards 71. The Aussie is still holding above 75 cents and above this, maybe 74.80, 75 cents. So I think that the dollar's bounce may be over for now. That's what I'm thinking, at least near term. But let me just set you guys up for what I think is more realistic between now and Wednesday night, tomorrow night. We're going to be doing that in the euro, I think, if I had to guess, with the risk with the risk of actually doing that. Okay, because we are in a very bullish trend, right? So I think that we're just kind of consolidating here. Let me quickly just talk a little bit about precious metals. One of the things that I fear is that gold's trading heavy. I mean, I know it's bouncing off the 1850 level, which 1860 actually, but we had support at 1850 here. Oh. I keep forgetting that I put the bias chart in here, or we put the bias chart, not me specifically. That gold's at 1850, so I think that's good support there. We bounced off 1860, so that's good. Silver, it's not capitalizing on what was looking pretty strong, but doesn't mean that silver won't play ball and get back above 120 or above 26. The cryptocurrencies are still super strong. A little blip that we saw in some of the altcoins has subsided with that XRP news yesterday, and that's and then another thing I wanted to talk about, the euro sterling. I was about ready to short it up here at the 91.50 level, and then I didn't pull the trigger, but we've rolled away from there. This is a pretty big trend line, comes in around 92. If you guys are in the camp that you think that there's going to be a Brexit deal, I mean, the euro sterling, while below 92.26, is probably a short. If you get above 92.30, then it's a breakout. But while we're here, it's probably a good short. Anyway, just some food for thought. And what I've also noticed is our audiences are getting smaller, as they always do around this time of year. So for those of you guys that are hanging in there and you're hanging out with me, appreciate you guys being here, and I appreciate all of you being part of the ForexAnalytix family. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all of you. I'm going to let you go. Have a great evening, and don't get into too much trouble. Whatever trades you do, just keep them light and keep them tight. All right, tight, stop, light position, not big. Okay, talk to you soon. Have a great one. Thank you.